Thank you. So, good evening, everyone. And yes, I can already feel the energy in this room. And I know isn't it just another session? This is a room full of doers, dreamers, and future change makers. So, today we are going to talk about something every leader must master: how to command, lead the team, and change the game. These are just phrases. These are the three levels of leadership influence. Commanding the room is about presence, leading the team is about people, changing the game is about purpose. Let me ask you something. How many of you have ever walked into a room full of people and suddenly felt small? Or how many of you have seen someone walk in the attention? That's, my friends, is presence. And today we shall learn how to build that powerfully but yet authentically. When I say command the room, what comes to your mind? Loud voice, strong personality, charisma? But here, let me tell you the truth. Commanding the room is not about volume, it's about energy, alignment, and authenticity. Your energy enters before your words do. So, when you walk into a room with intention before even you speak. I remember conducting a training at a corporate office. Everyone was busy scrolling their phones. I didn't speak right away. I just stood there silently, smiling, and made eye contact. But within 10 seconds, the energy in the room shifted. And then I said, that's leadership. You don't demand attention, you earn it with presence. So, with that being said, presence is about how you show up physically, mentally, and emotionally. First is your posture. Your posture is your silent introductions. Shoulders back, chest open, steady eye contact. It signals confidence. Breath and calmness. Breathe before you speak. Calm leaders are trusted leaders. Next, last but not the least, your intention. Ask yourself before entering a room, what do I want to feel after I speak? What do I want people to feel after I speak? This is an activity which I want everybody to try after the session or whenever you have the time. One person will walk 5 steps forward as if entering a meeting or a stage. The other person observes it and asks what energy do they bring. Ask themselves what energy do they bring or how confident do they appear. And ask yourself or ask the other person, what did you notice? Exactly. Presence isn't about acting, it's about aligning your body and mind with your message. When your words, energy, and purpose match, you command but not demand. Once you can command a room, the next level is leading the people inside it. Because leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those who's in your charge. In many, uh, organizations, associations, we often say leaders create leaders. And that's the heart of what we do. You see, leadership, it's not about your position, it's about your impact. It's about it's about how people feel when you're around and how they act when you're not. Think of one leader who you truly respect. Maybe in your organization, maybe in your social network, or at your workplace, or even in your own family. Now, think what made you follow them. Either they listened to you, or they were clear, or they cared. Can be anything. Exactly. Leadership begins with connection. Now, talking about the three C's of leadership. First is your clarity. People can't follow what they can't see. A leader must communicate vision in simple but yet powerful words. Second is your connection. When I, you know, when I talk about connection, what comes to your mind first? Great leaders listen more than they speak. They build bridges but not walls. Last but not the least is your credibility. Your team doesn't follow titles, they follow trust. Do what you say and say what you do. And again, you can try this activity little later. One person will close their eyes, the other will guide them across a small area using only voice commands. Just guide with your words and tone. After some time, you can switch the roles and see what did you feel when your eyes were closed. Maybe uncertain, nervous, you trying to build that trust. And for the person guiding, what was so challenging? Maybe it's choosing the right words or being clear. This is leadership. It's not about control, it's about clarity and trust. The people follow these leaders who make them feel safe, seen, and supported. Now, which I call changing the game. Once you've mastered presence and people, you reach the highest level, which is your purpose. This is where you stop reacting to the world and start reshaping it. Because every game changer in history had one thing in common: they questioned the normal and created the new. Think about the founders of any organization. They don't wait for opportunities. They looked around their community and said, what if young people became the solution? That question changed millions of lives, including ours today. Now, let's talk about the game changers mindset. First is challenging the norm. Don't settle for this is how it has always been, because growth begins with curiosity. Second is collaborate but don't compete. Game changers lift others as they rise. The best leaders bring out the best in people. Last but not the least, celebrate their progress but not their perfection. Let it be theirs or even your own. So leadership is messy, but movement matters more than mastery. Now, think about one game you want to change. It could be how your team communicates, or how you manage your time, or how you handle your stress. Now, write down one bold step you shall take this month to change that. Beautiful. So that's how your transformation begins. Not with giant leaps, but with one conscious step forward. So, many a times what happens is that, we think we know it all. Even if you know it all, sometimes we just don't take the conscious action which we are supposed to take at any given point of time. Or even if we do, we are doubtful, are we taking the right step? Or we are doubtful, are we in the right direction? Or sometimes even we are doubtful of will this fail or will this succeed or will this go fine or what is the possible, challenges. Or sometimes we, our fear, doubt, all these things starts creeping in, not knowing where the road or where the life takes. But the idea is you need to be prepared even if you don't know where it's taking you, but then your goal should not change. Many a times, what happens, even after knowing the pros and cons, we literally change the goal. Okay, this is not something I want to achieve. Let me change. But at any given point of time, at any given leadership role, or any given time of situation, any situation has its own pros and cons, its own challenges, its own roadblocks, its own hurdles at any given point of time. Not necessarily every time life goes as planned as you think it is. Because our mind's job is to either be in the past or be in the future. It's about be training our minds every day, every now and then. It's like when you plant a seed in the soil, you nurture it every day. It says that you water it today, you don't water it tomorrow. That's not the case, but you water it every day. In certain circumstances, when it's raining, we don't. But it needs sunlight, it needs various different factors for that plant to grow, isn't it? Many a times, if you think about it. Now, this is one activity which one of my colleague, I will not say colleague, rather my friend, she wears different hats with me. But then she gave us a task of, write down the different roles you play in your day-to-day life. It can be a role of a daughter, it can be a role of a sister, it can be a role of a mother, or even it can be a role of some whatever friend, mentor, coach, what all roles which we play in a day-to-day basis. But that every role, there's a leader which comes within us. There is a leader. Either you're playing a role of a CEO, or either you're playing a role of a manager, or even a leader in that matter in any organization wherever you're working, isn't it? In many places, we 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 have different leadership titles or handles with us that which we play. But the first conscious step is to think as to how can I do something even more better than yesterday. Because many a times that conscious effort is little irritating, little frustrating, but that's where we evolve. That is where we, recreate, we start reshaping. But that doesn't mean you change the goal. Another very good example, which I always many a times I give, the author who wrote Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling. How many of you think how many times she might have failed in writing that book? And when many publishers didn't accept the first book which she wrote, you take up any personalities, whomever you think of, in every leadership role, in every leader you are in, or in the role which you play, there is some sort of difficulties, some sort of challenges. But always remember those challenges, those roadblocks, or those hurdles, isn't it something to which has come to break you, but rather to make you into a great leader. Yeah, it's not about it's certain hurdles doesn't come to break you. It's come to make you as a person or as an individual. or as a leader in you. Yes, there are different leadership styles, but then it's about putting yourself into those kinds of situations where okay, you learn to identify this is my leadership style. To be a leader, first you need to be a follower of something. You need to be a follower of something so that you develop that leadership in you. Because many a times what happens is we start mimicking what mirroring what other person does. What does that do basically? You learn a skill or you learn the body language of how a leader projects himself or herself in different situations. Yeah. So that is about leadership for you. See, the first thing is commanding the room. That is the presence which you have it in that room when you enter that room. Commanding, you need to know to command people. So it's about your commanding the room is about presence, leading the team is about people, changing the game is about purpose. I'm not saying you can find out all these things in a day. So for certain of them, it might take some time. For certain, it doesn't take some time. But when we ties everything together to command the room, you need confidence and authenticity. To lead the team, you need the connection and the trust. To change the game, you need courage and purpose. As I said earlier, leadership isn't a title. It's a choice that you make every day. You don't have to wait for permission to lead. You have to wait. You don't have to wait for someone to notice you. You already have what it takes. Just about presence, empathy, and passion. So, when you walk into your next meeting, classroom, or even your stage, remember you're not just entering a room, you are entering an opportunity to influence, inspire, and ignite that change. Now it's time for all of you to go out there and command the room, lead the team, and change the game. So, see, this is one topic where you can just go on giving lot of examples, lot of things. But then, sometimes we feel that energy in the room when a person enters. But many a time we just don't show that the thing outside. Even if it's a negativity, even if it's positivity, we feel it. So again, it's a choice, a chance, and a chance to create that change. So it's about what kind of a choice you want to make, what kind of an energy you want to create, and every opportunity is a chance for you to create that change. And it's now about you taking that first step or you taking that conscious effort in creating that change of energy. And also, the, the most important thing is the story which you tell yourself, the stories which we create, the stories which we start narrating to ourselves. That is, so as I say always, words are not just words. Words are emotions. Words is energy. So what kind of energy you want to give out back to the world or back to the universe? Because universe is always listening to you, and the moment you think, you dream, the universe starts conspiring. So that being said, whoever is going watching live with us right now and whoever is going to watch this later, take your time out to just sit and listen to this video. Uh, Because every time for me, a session titles occurs when a deep conversation happens, when something deep happens, or even if when I'm reading a book happens deep. So always remember that change starts from within. It's not from outside, but it starts from within. Let that spark of change starts from within. On that note, thank you everyone, and I'll catch you in another session on another title, on next Monday. With that, thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, Darshini. It was really wonderful. And happy Diwali to you and everyone. Also,
Happy Diwali. Any
Bye.
inputs from you, Shabana ma'am, before we close?
It was really your talks are really a reminder to be more present. I really like that. The more we are present, you can make any difference. For any difference, you have to be present. Yeah. So I think that's really useful and very thoughtful.
Thank you.
Thank you for great. Thank you. So
Thank you so much. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, everyone, and see you again.